you very much, Eva, and good morning, everybody. Thank you for having me here today, and of course, Happy Earth Week. I bring greetings to you on behalf of Kathleen Wynne, Minister of Transportation of Ontario. She has asked me to convey to you her thanks for the invitation to speak, of course, and her great regret at not being able to be here in person today. The Minister also asked me to express her hope that today's sessions, as the previous speakers have mentioned, provide great insight into the best practices that can be applied here in Ontario to make active transportation and more broadly sustainable transportation a vital part of complete streets in complete communities across our province. The MTO, along with the Ministry of Energy and Infrastructure, is pleased to be a sponsor again for this forum. MTO, as you may know, also sponsored the predecessor bike summits of 2008 and 2009. Congratulations to the organizers, the executive, and the volunteers for arranging for such a great program today, and also just listening to the accomplishments that Eva outlined that TCAT and CAP are actively pursuing. Congratulations to them as well. Conferences such as this are critical in active transportation as it evolves in stages from a good idea in theory to a principle embedded in official plans and policies, programs and projects, to the reality of capital works and the supporting infrastructure. You could say that in Ontario in 2010 we are moving in the right direction in this policy evolution to implementing the best practices that we've seen. For example, you're going to hear later from Jamie on the growth plan, the concept and promotion of active transportation and sustainable transportation are firmly embedded in the growth plan for the greater Golden Horseshoe area. It is interesting to note the growth plan provides for, and I quote, building complete communities, well-designed, offering transportation choices, accommodating people at all stages of life, having the right mix of housing, a good range of jobs, and easy access to stores and services to meet daily needs. I don't want to steal Jamie's thunder, but of course this requires municipalities across the region to accommodate growth by building more transit supportive communities, providing convenient access to intra and intercity transit, and increasing the modal share for transit, walking, and cycling. This is not just a nice to have or a well-intentioned idea, it is an absolute necessity. We must offer people alternatives to the private automobile for so many reasons: to improve air quality, to reduce road congestion and the amount of time people spend in transit, to keep goods and the economy moving, of course. This is so important that MTO has part of its vision and a key priority area to promote a multimodal transportation network, to optimize the use of all modes of transportation while addressing the province's economic and climate change objectives. MTO has been supporting planning for well-designed complete communities for many years now. As early as 1992, the Ministry developed the first transit-supportive land use planning guidelines to assist municipalities, transit operators, developers, and land use planners in creating transit-friendly communities. An important and growing part of that is linking transit more efficiently and effectively to active transportation modes. Our focus is on offering people choice, transportation options that are efficient, convenient, affordable, reliable, sustainable, safe, and importantly, as mentioned earlier, that transition seamlessly from one mode to the other and from one jurisdiction to the other. One of the most compelling plans to develop and grow public transit with an active transportation component in this province is the Regional Transportation Plan, or the RTP, developed by Metrolinx, which, for those of you outside the region, is the provincial agency responsible for regional transportation in the GTHA. The Regional Transportation Plan builds upon the foundation of the growth plan that I spoke of earlier and sets out a long-range plan that integrates new and existing local transit with regional transit. I was thinking on the way up, maybe the best thing I could do for the purposes of the agenda and for the organizers is just cut out a lot. So you see big red lines through the rest of this speech. I'm almost done. I know Leslie Wu is making a presentation today later, so I won't go into a lot more detail about the RTP and other Metrolinx initiatives. But of particular interest in this gathering is the promotion of active transportation through those documents, which is one of the 15 strategic directions proposed in the RTP. There are many ways that Metrolinx is aggressively pursuing active transportation options, seeking to break into new territory, coming up with new ideas and processes, and proposing them to government. At MTO, we are increasingly factoring active transportation principles into our work. This is in keeping with another MTO key priority area, to integrate the principle of sustainability into our decision-making programs, policies, and operations. A few examples. We are moving forward on key elements of the RTP that relate to active transportation. We're looking at ways of collecting more complete data on cycling and walking so that we can do more comprehensive planning, studies, and long-term plans. The transit supportive land use guidelines that I spoke of earlier are currently being updated. As you probably know, bike racks are now on all GO buses, and GO Transit continues to build modern bike shelters at stations. We're also working on integrating our highway improvements with plans for active transportation. One example that we worked recently with the City of Burlington was to find a means of accommodating cyclists more safely at the intersection of Fairview Road and the QEW. This is an excellent example of what we can leave here today with the passion for, and that is consultation, collaboration, learning from each other, those things that are necessary to turn good ideas into reality. On a related note, there's been an enthusiastic response by municipalities to our Transportation Demand Management Grant Program. And this program has been in effect for a couple of years and provides municipalities with up to 50% funding for transportation demand management plans, programs, and services that offer more sustainable travel choices and help get people out of their cars. The underlying principle is simple: to make the most of existing infrastructure to support transit, cycling, walking, and carpooling so that they are viable alternatives to driving alone. To date, more than $750,000 has been awarded to 34 municipal projects. And like I said, I won't list them here in the interest of time. In the space of a few minutes, I can't describe in detail all of the things that we're doing at the Ministry and Metrolinx to support complete streets. You've got a great program today that will offer you the chance to talk about it further. We have a new Sustainable Transportation Office at the Ministry of Transportation, and I have members of staff from there here today that would be happy to talk to you about some of the other things. But let me emphasize that conferences such as this are a tremendous opportunity to share information and generate solutions. As we're all aware, there are numerous barriers to overcome, and sessions such as this give us a better idea of what those barriers are and how, through connection and collaboration, we can explore the issues, share best practices, and come up with solutions that hopefully work for everybody. Again, on behalf of the Minister of Transportation, Kathleen Wynne, I wish you a most enjoyable and productive discussion today. Thank you very much.